Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Master of Mayhem, Craig Charles.
I'll tell you what, there's something about Robot Wars that brings out the psycho in people. I mean, take the Roboteers. They're teachers, accountants, doctors, and you get them in the war zone, and they're like Attila the Hun. And what about this lot? Hey, are you ready for some carnage? See what I mean? Basket cases, the lot of them. So, Jonathan, who else is going to be losing it today?
Thanks, Craig. Now, call me a clairvoyant, but I've got a feeling tonight's going to be a great one for the destructive. Mind you, I've seen the robots in the pits, haven't I? Let's see how they line up in round one.
3 previous semi-finalists in this little lot. Wild Thing up against newcomers here. Napalm 2 against Warhog. We've seen them before. And Thermidor here matched with an old friend of ours, the Prize Fighter. And let's not forget Velociripper in there as well here, fighting a very good-looking machine, the Alien.
A staggering 5 robot veterans in heat. 5. Some with battle scars from the Fourth War, all toughened by time in the war zone. And there's no substitute for combat experience. Believe that, you'll believe anything. Thermidor is back ranked 16 with lessons learned from previous wars. They say their flipper is better than Chaos 2's. A proud boast or foolish fantasy? We shall see. Napalm is back too with pretty much the same robot that they had last year. And last year this happened. Not looking good, guys. Wild Thing has always been a great robot, and that shows in its ranking. Number 9. Nick Adams is a fantastic driver, and the machine is fast and dangerous. Now though, with a new spinning disc, it could cause a few upsets in the 5th Wars. Velociripper is back, and like Napalm, it looks the same as before, but a lot of work has gone into the insides of this little snarler. And finally, the Alcott boys return with Prize Fighter. Maybe this time it'll prove to be a true contender and get through the first round. And Wild Thing's up first against Trouble and Strife. It's going to be ugly, but here in the pits, that's what we like.
It's fighting time. Hey, let the wars begin.
From Ash, Wild Thing.
Basically a 2-wheel drive go-kart, wedge-shaped with a 3-mech and a giant 6,000 RPM 12-kilo cutting disc, twice a series semi-finalist. Wild Thing, we may love you.
From Harbour, Trouble and Strife.
I like the CO2-powered flipper combined with a 20-kilo 1,000 RPM disc and the 4 modified starter motors powering a solid machine. I don't like the sluggish turning circle.
Roboteers, stand by.
Wild Thing and the Adams family. Nick, Dad, Isabel 14 and Jake who's 12. And Trouble and Strife, Peter Forsey, Jake his son and Mike Stokes. In the arena for the house robots, Matilda with a flywheel and the tusks. And if that's not gruesome enough, we have Shunt in there as well with the diamond-edged axe and the scoop.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Wild Thing, heavier, faster, more experienced. You can see its red cutting disc, and if you look carefully, the green spinning disc of Trouble and Stripe set lower on the machine. And if you look carefully as well, you can see some damage, I think, already caused to the armour of Trouble and Stripe. Just a few scratches and dents. Wild Thing doing all the aggressive work. There's the front flipper of Trouble and Strife, powered by the 2-kilo CO2 cylinder. There are controls of Wild Thing. Nick Adams loves his radio, model car racing, and he loves his Wild Thing machine. Oh! For a minute there, I thought it was going to topple over. Has its own 3-mech, would have been all right, Wild Thing, but this is a struggle here for the experienced Wild Thing machine. Look at this. Went on the attack, was flipped. The spike actually balanced the machine, and down they came, but a little bit of problem there for the wheel hub. just bent and buckled, and should this go to the judges, that will count against Wild Thing. They've got a problem there, they're not running freely, and that wheel looks badly buckled. Wild Thing is in a real survival battle here now. Semi-finalists in the 3rd series of Robot Wars and the 4th. But here against newcomers Trouble and Strife, in real trouble themselves, doing the pressing, doing the aggressive work that they need now. A KO, I think. Otherwise, Trouble and Strife could yet put the Adams family out. Almost edge into the CPZ there. Matilda, of course, awaits with the heavy flywheel. We've seen it cause so much damage in past Robot Wars. Certainly Trouble and Strife around the rear is damaged, and they were pushed in there to the CPZ and taking pressure and punishment from Shunt. That's a good drive by Wild Thing. I think Trouble and Strife will just survive and go to a referee's decision. It's going to be very, very close, and they've taken severe damage late on.
Well. That is definitely one for the judges. Wild Thing seeded 9. Could there be a turn up for the books here? The judges will be looking at style, control, damage, and aggression.
Stay tuned for more Metal Mayhem on Robot Wars. Those ravenous robots are back on Tech TV.
While our 3 wise heads tot up the points, let's have a look at the highlights. Wild Thing on the attack early on. Then suffered damage to the wheel in this attack, which nearly saw them toppled, and there you can see the wheel hub nearly ripped off. It was wobbly from then on in Wild Thing. Came back into it doing a lot of pushing, and damage was caused to Trouble and Strife very late on by Shunt in that CPZ.
The judges have made their decision. It's really tense here, isn't it? You can cut the tension with a knife. Do you think you got it? Do you think, Jake? Do you think you got it now? No. Not sure? The judges have made a decision. The 9th seeds have scraped through. Wild Thing are the winners. Now, I think that is a fairly controversial decision because you were doing so well. You inflicted so much damage on them, didn't you?
Yeah.
But the judges reckon that they were a bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
I love your spinning disc, very destructive.
Yeah, isn't it? Yes, it's taking the whole out of a mate's drive as well.
Really?
Interesting.
Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, please, some commiserations for Trouble and Strife. Skinning your teeth though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was tough. For a first fight in a series, that was like a final type fight. They are a really fantastic robot. And
it took an awful lot of damage as well.
Yeah, their design with that spinning disc was something that we had difficulty with, and they got some good hits in. So we got a bit of panel beating to do. And
you were kind of limping along, your wheels are all wonky and everything.
Yeah, that's happened to us before, it's true. We kept going though, and yeah, I was trying to get them into the zone. We did get them in the end.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
I think that's what swung it for you, you know. The fact you were just constantly coming back. You were sustaining a lot of damage, but you still kept coming back. You still kept pushing them, You got them into the CPZ in the end and shunted them.
Very hard fight. Very close.
What do you think? Your 9th seeds? Do you think you can go all the way this time?
I think we're going to try.
Alrighty. Oh, it's getting really exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Wild Thing.